Oh my goodness! It's Tuesday night! Has anyone seen the Sala Monster? I miss the Sala Monster, man. I parted ways with the Sala Monster tonight to cover this show. I thought it was a good business decision for the both of us. Unfortunately, all business decisions aren't good ones. We are not Titan tonight. He's solo tonight. As am I. For the debut episode on the CW network of NXT. We have a new era, supposedly. A new era. A new era of what? What exactly does that mean? We're in a new era of NXT. Was this any different than the old era last week? If my demeanor is anything to judge by, I did not like tonight's show. Not to say that all was bad. I'm just not seeing what you guys are seeing. I'll tell you what, though, you know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing two old fashions in my future tonight. We're drinking at the OG venue tonight. We're upstairs in the OTS venue, and when I walk through those doors on this very rare NXT Tuesday night, I want to know, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there.
Why has Triple H been so successful? Why is Triple H running WWE better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on Monday and Friday night? Long-term booking.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your NXT debut on the CW post show for Tuesday, October 1st, 2024. I am your host, JD from New York. As always, coming to you live from the OTS venue. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on your Tuesday evenings, wherever you may be. I am not joined by the Solid Monster tonight. We are both live for NXT. Thought this was a good business decision for both of us because all I heard was all the hype, and I heard everybody's excitement about this debut on the CW every single week. Every single week without fail. In the chat on Tuesday nights with TNT, on Twitter, every single week, I get people asking me, JD, why don't you cover NXT? It's not what it used to be. It's not 2.0 anymore. It's gotten a lot better. I think you'll like what they're doing now. Some people have even said that it's the best weekly show out of all the pro wrestling that we digest on a weekly basis. No. No, it is not. I hear all these requests. And I watch NXT on a weekly basis. I don't cover it. I watch it. There are several talent down there that I personally love and personally endorse. But every single week, I find myself asking, what are you people talking about? What are you talking about? Every single week, I find myself asking, why? Why did I waste my time covering this show or watching this show? I felt like I wasted my time covering this show tonight. And I know pro wrestling fans are of a different breed. They hear any sort of criticism from someone in the space. Forget about it, man. It's like World War fucking III on social media. They just can't handle an opinion. They can't handle someone not liking what they like. I get it every day from AEW elitists. Every single week. I did not like this show tonight. I was left incredibly underwhelmed. For a debut show on a new network, on network television, for a new show, I felt like I walked into a Michelin star restaurant. And I walked out after it was all over, highly disappointed, ready to go and give my review online and tell people never to go back and eat at that restaurant ever again. I'm trying to find the disconnect here. What exactly are you guys watching that I am not seeing? I get it. It's not black and gold anymore. It's not black and gold at all anymore. They took the gold out of the logo. They don't want to be associated with black and gold. They will never be black and gold, no matter what. You will never recreate what they did with black and gold. So much so, they took the gold right out of the new logo. It's now black and silver. It's great. Go follow and carve your own path, man. Leave the black and gold era to the rest of us that want to relive the glory days. I don't know what we are watching that I am not seeing. What is it? What are you guys blinded by with this show? What is it? Does anybody have an answer for me? My first gripe out of everything is that there's no difference between what they're doing here and what they're doing on Friday Night SmackDown. No difference between what they're doing on Tuesday nights to Monday Night Raw. Everything looks the same. Everything feels the same. When you watch NXT, I feel like a broken fucking record. I really do. I feel like a fucking goddamn broken record. Every time you watch NXT, it felt different than the main roster. The main roster largely is aesthetically still the same. Yeah, there's a new guy behind the camera in the producer's truck. Kevin Dunn's not there anymore. Yeah, they got fancy new camera cuts, and they've updated the look visually, and we got fancy new cameras, and, you know, they do the whole epic introductions with the fancy 4K cameras. I get it. But NXT used to stand on its own as its own entity. I get that they want to make it into the third brand. You can do whatever you want to pretend like it's a third brand. It's fine. But if it's a third brand, why does it got to be the brand that looks like the other two brands? Why can't it be a brand that stands on its own while also maintaining being a third brand? Something I never really understood. I watched a developmental show tonight that underwhelmed me so much that after 1 hour, I wanted to say I quit. There was nothing else for me to go watch. I promised everybody I would be here live, and here I am. And if I have to be live, you're going to get my truth. You're going to get my upfront honesty. They changed the logo. Have no problem with the logo. The logo means nothing to me. A new logo, new color scheme is not going to make the show that we watch on TV better. It's just a fucking logo. They updated their cold open and the theme music. Again, not a fan. Not a fan. Commentary team largely remains awful. And then they put on a show that after Wes Lee and Zachary Wentz, show completely went down the fucking toilet. What exactly am I not seeing that you guys so desperately want me to cover every week? For a debut show, I was incredibly underwhelmed. Nothing's new. Everything still feels the same as it did last week. See some people in the chat, some people online were like, oh, this felt like a takeover. No, it didn't. In what way? In what way? In what way did it feel like a takeover to you? There was one match on this show that I could say, hey, man, let me take this and put it on an NXT takeover back in the glory days. That's Wes Lee and Zachary Wentz. They fucking killed each other. I wouldn't put anything else from this show on a takeover from the black and gold era. What a dumb fucking comment. What a Gen Z fucking, I just started watching the product 3 weeks ago type comment. You don't know what the fuck a takeover is. You don't know what takeover meant. This felt like a takeover. In what way? The fact that there was 8,000 people in fucking Chicago? Yeah, that's great. Doesn't feel like a takeover because of the crowd by itself alone. Takeover was more than just taking over a city. New York, Miami, Orlando, fucking Phoenix, Los Angeles, Chicago. It's more than just taking over a city, man. To say that it resembled a takeover or it felt like a takeover, I mean, that's disrespecting takeover. It did not. Chicago, 8,000 deep tonight. Sure. NXT doesn't run outside the performance center, so anything over 500 people is going to feel bigger than it normally does. This show did not deliver tonight. And I'm not holding my breath for next week in St. Louis either. No, NXT 2.0 is not back. You cannot get any worse than 2.0. That was fucking just unbelievably disrespectful. We all know what happened with 2.0. Bruce and Vince killed it. They killed it. That was Bruce Pritchard's project. Vince sent Bruce to run that show. And if he tells you otherwise, he's bullshitting you. That show was awful. Everything about it was awful. The colors, the titles, the crowd, the roster, the way it was booked. Awful. It was fucking comedy hour for 2.0. This is better than 2.0, but it's not a good show by any stretch. It's not. I don't know where the disconnect is. I'd love for people to reach out to me and tell me, what am I missing? Fill me in. They got a great roster. Don't get me wrong. Roxanne Perez is fucking incredible. Guilia, can't wait to see how she grows on WWE television. Trick Williams, wasn't a fan of his in the beginning. He's got what the cool kids on social media say. He's got aura. Tony D'Angelo, great. Wes Lee, fucking great. There are several talent down there that I quite enjoy watching. But that doesn't mean the overall show that you watch for 2 hours is anywhere where it needs to be. They want to claim it's a developmental while claiming at the same time it's the third brand. When I want to watch something like that, I want to have it feel different. You watch tonight's show, like I said before, what exactly did you get different than what you watched last night on Monday Night Raw? Stages look the same, the music is the same, the commentary team is the same. The in-ring action, the way it's produced, the way it's written, the way the promos come off, it's all the same. I don't know. For a debut show on the CW network, I was highly, highly underwhelmed and very disappointed. What I liked. Let's start there. What I liked. Love the fact that they got rid of those absolute dog shit looking rainbow titles from 2.0. Goodbye. They went back and kind of took influence from the black and gold and gave us something a little bit more rugged, a little bit more darker. Those rainbow titles are gone. Goodbye. They unveiled a new NXT World Championship for the men and a new NXT Women's Championship for the women. The women's title is a white strap with the same center plate as the men. They did a very good job on the titles. It reminded me of old NXT. We got a new logo. Still the same NXT logo that we had previously, just not black and gold. It is now black and silver. Or black and gunmetal, whatever you want to call it. Sure, titles are great. Updating the titles is a natural progression if you're going to go into a new era. New logo, sure. I'm assuming Monday Night Raw is going to get a new logo when they move to Netflix. SmackDown got a new logo when they move from Fox to the USA Network. NXT got a new logo tonight, moving from USA to the CW. Fine. Update the color scheme, update the aesthetics, update the theme music. I don't care. None of this matters about how the show is produced. Those things I liked. The crowd in Chicago, always great. Love Chicago, love their people, love their excitement for pro wrestling. They brought the energy tonight. Not all through the show, but when it mattered, they were there. They showed up, they were loud. Wes Lee and Zachary Wentz, best match of the night. Wes Lee is incredible. So is Zachary Wentz. When they were MSK, they were fucking great. The Rascals, today, what you see of them in TNA, fucking great. Absolutely great. I don't know if they are ever going to come back together, because WWE could certainly use more tag teams like MSK, but Wes Lee on his own has proved that, and I didn't think he was going to be able to do it because I didn't know where creative was going to take him. I did not trust creative to really do much with Wes Lee. I thought after Zachary Wentz got fired, I thought he was just going to get completely lost and then eventually leave the company. He ended up having a hell of a run as North American champion. Both guys are great. That street fight was fucking fun. They beat the shit out of each other. That goes to show you that when you work with somebody that you really trust and that you're very good friends with, I believe they were roommates at one point or another, you're going to work your magic together. Fucking great. Love both of those guys. Love the Rascals. Love Wes Lee. Love Wentz. I didn't think Wentz deserved to be fired in the first place. Some fucking bimbo got him in trouble and blackmailed him. He got the last laugh. Good for him. That was great. That was easily the best part of the show. Guilia and Roxanne Perez. This one is going to sting to everybody that enjoys Guilia's work and Roxanne's work, but I'm going to give her a pass. Guilia. I was excited for this match. They opened this match tonight because of several reasons. One, it's the biggest match of the night. Two, it goes to show you what they think of their women's division. This is the future of their brand, is the women's division. It's their strongest asset, is the women's division. I've seen Guilia work previously, before she came to WWE. I've seen Guilia and whatever she's done in the ring, very scarce. They really haven't had her do much of anything on NXT. I think they had her at, one match? Not really much of any. Chelsea Green. She worked a better match with Chelsea Green than she did with Roxanne Perez. I came into this very excited. And I left that match incredibly underwhelmed. There's that word again, underwhelmed. Roxanne Perez is one of the best things about NXT. Easy. An absolute stud is Roxanne Perez. And she's young. Sky's the limit. On our way to being one of the best in that entire women's division ever. I did not think Roxanne was going to be able to pull off the heel turn and run with the heel gimmick. She's killed it all. She's proved a lot of people wrong. She is easily one of my favorite things about Tuesday night. But tonight, both of them did not deliver the type of match that people were expecting based on their previous bodies of work. If you thought it was a banger, I am not going to sit here and tell you that you're wrong. That is your opinion. If you enjoyed the match, you enjoyed the match. I can't really say otherwise. But when it comes to me and what I watched through my eyes tonight, I didn't think this match was anything but underwhelming. Was it a good TV match? Sure. This is why I don't really understand why people said, oh, it was a takeover tonight. It felt like a takeover. No, this match was not takeover worthy. This match was not takeover worthy. Roxanne and Guilia wrestled a fine TV match, but there was a lot left to be desired. Guilia was very sloppy. Guilia, at certain points in the match, looked lost. Guilia, at certain points, didn't know where to look with the hard cam. Guilia, at one point, started throwing just waffling right hands. It's like she was just flailing her arms out there just to get through the spot. It's almost as if she forgot what she had to do or what spot was coming up. It certainly felt off with Roxanne tonight. I don't know if it was a language barrier. I don't know if it was nerves. I don't know if it was the expectation going in and they just had this huge weight on them tonight to deliver and they got nervous. I don't know. But the one thing that I think I could probably point the finger of blame at is the fact that Guilia really hasn't had a lot of time to get developed into the WWE system. She doesn't know what the WWE system is. She doesn't know how the WWE system works. Putting her on national television and right into a championship match should be a lesson learned for everybody else that comes after Giulia. And for all the AEW fucking retards out there who claim that I don't complain when certain people on WWE get a championship match without winning matches, but I'll complain about it on AEW. Here's a clip for you. Nobody should be getting championship matches based on their previous work somewhere else. I don't give a shit what she did in Stardom. I don't give a shit what she did in New Japan. I don't give a shit what she did anywhere else. I don't give a shit what Stephanie Vaquer did in CMLL. You're in America now. You want a world championship match? Earn it. I think WWE did a disservice to Giulia by putting her in a big match situation when she has no big match experience in the biggest promotion in the entire world. It doesn't matter where she came from or how good she was where she was. It's just the fact of the matter. WWE is to blame for why that match was underwhelming. But if you want to come out here and throw out, oh, JD's negative or JD's this, he doesn't know. He doesn't watch NXT. Yes, I do, bitch. Shut the fuck up. JD doesn't know what he's talking about. You are talking to the only individual in this space for as long as it was on the WWE Network that covered NXT Black and Gold every single week at 1 hour. I was the only creator covering the show because everybody looked down on it. You don't think I know what a good NXT women's match is? You don't think I know what an NXT match, championship match should look like? This was not it. This was not it. Giulia's going to get better. She's fucking great. She'll be fine. Roxanne's incredible. Could be Tuesday Night Rocks any day of the week. Never mind just fucking Tuesday. But what they did tonight underwhelmed. We're certainly going to get another rematch. It'll probably happen at Halloween Havoc. Or whenever the next PLE is. I don't know what comes first. And she'll win the title there. But she needs to go through the system, earn her way into a championship match, and work with others before you put her in the ring with the best that you got. They skipped every single thing that happens between the debut and a championship match. They skipped all of the in-between. It's like you got two pieces of bread. You got the upper part and the lower part, and then the meat in the middle, or whatever fixings you got in the middle. It's the most important part of the fucking sandwich is the bread, right? But just as much as the bread is important, the middle is what counts as well. You don't want to serve people stale meat and fucking disgusting looking cheese. Dry. No mayo, no spicy mustard, no lettuce, no tomato. It's like they left out everything. How do you expect the woman to succeed in this element, on this brand, in this company, in front of these people, when you didn't get her ready for that stage, but just one match with Chelsea Green? I'm sorry, folks. You don't like what I have to say? Go back and watch Black and Gold. You'll see what real championship matches look like. Underwhelming. They'll fix it, though. Maybe this was supposed to be a tease and nothing over the top, super important. But they certainly billed it as something important. They certainly billed it as one of the best and biggest matches they could possibly do for the brand. So why didn't it deliver? Oh, it was a banger. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Oh, they cooked. No, they didn't. Nobody cooked at all in that match. The only thing I remember and the only thing of note in the match that really stood out to me was the return of Cora Jade. That was it. And even that felt flat. Nobody knew who the fuck she was. She came out in a hood and DDT'd Giulia. Nobody gave her any sort of reaction. Then as soon as the match was over, we see a glimpse of Cora Jade right to the next segment. They didn't let the moment breathe. But I'm sure the next one-on-one would be a lot better, I'm assuming, between Roxanne and Giulia. Then we got Wes Lee and Zachary Wentz, and then after that, the show fell off a fucking cliff. We got Miz TV, Oba Femi, and Tony D'Angelo. Then we got a tag team match with the ladies, Fatal Attraction versus Lola Vice and Jada Parker. That was actually better than Giulia and Roxanne Perez. And I'm not even a fan of Fatal Attraction. Or Fatal Influence, whatever the fuck their names are. That was a better match than the opening women's match. The crowd was more, to me, the crowd was actually a little bit more lively during that match. And then we got Ethan Page defending the NXT Championship against Trick Williams with CM Punk as the special guest referee. I mean, you guys were watching Tuesday nights every single week with Ethan Page as your world champion? Again, what am I not seeing here, bro? What am I not seeing that you guys are seeing? Ethan Page is a great champion. Really? What the fuck has he done? What has he done? He's another guy that they took from AEW. They signed him to a WWE contract, and within fucking 6 weeks, they put the world championship on him. Why? What did he do to earn a world championship in WWE after 6 fucking weeks? He may go down as one of the most boring champions in company history. Not really seeing what you guys are seeing. Oh, it was a takeover level show. To who? With Ethan Page in your main event? Takeover? Oh my goodness, man. You guys are absolutely fucking hilarious. The last time Ethan Page meant anything to anybody was when he was tag team partners with Josh Alexander in the North, over in TNA. You guys think because he came from AEW and he was a disgruntled employee, he's going to come on over to WWE and all of a sudden mean something to WWE. No, he's still just as boring as he was when he was in AEW. That's the guy that you put your biggest title on for the last 3 months. Gee, man, no wonder why the fucking show is boring. We'll break this thing down. This is the first time in a while where I'm actually on here on a Tuesday night, and I haven't really said any of this shit on social media or in any of the other podcasts and live streams that I've done. So if you're hearing this for the first time, this is exactly how I felt in all these months not covering NXT. I watch from afar. I lurk in the shadows. I see everything. If you guys think that this show is good, man, you guys have really set the bar incredibly low because you yourself miss what WWE fucking killed 4 years ago. We'll try and break this thing down the best that we can tonight. Get RB out of the chat. Goodbye. These L's. Your mother didn't think it was an L last night when she was all over my cock last night, RB. Get the fuck out of my chat. Thank you guys for joining me on this Tuesday night. Man, I wish we were live for Tuesday Night Titans. We were live for Monday Night Raw last night. I thought that was a decent show. Go-home show for Bad Blood. Saturday's going to be a banger show. It's going to be an all-timer show. Punk, McIntyre, Hell in the Cell. That's another thing. CM Punk in Chicago and no Drew McIntyre. Couldn't even sell me on a Drew McIntyre surprise appearance, man. Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, Hell in the Cell, and Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes teaming up against Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. TNT next Tuesday? No. I'll be right back here because it's in St. Louis, and I'm sure something big is going to happen next week because if I don't cover it, I'm assuming something's going to something big is going to happen. That's the way it works out. Nothing happened tonight, so they'll probably save it for next week when they go head-to-head with AEW. I'll be live Saturday for TNT, man. It's going to be a great show. Or Bad Blood. TNT will happen next week. We're going to decide on a day, whether it's Wednesday night or Thursday night. We'll decide, and you guys will find out on social media. Hit that thumbs up. 517 likes. We got 1,700 in here. Let's try for 1,000 likes tonight on the NXT debut on the CW network. Go check out all the other videos on the channel. There's plenty of content for you guys that happened last week. We are going to start the month of October off strong. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below, and please turn on that bell for all notifications. Tonight, Super Chats, by the way, are open, so get them on in. There's one fucking absolute scumbag degenerate who has zero life outside of social media that has claimed that I fake my Super Chats. And he's been bad-mouthing all of the people that have donated hundreds of dollars to the show. I don't know how I could donate Super Chats to myself and fake Super Chats when my hands are right here. Where are my hands? Managing multiple accounts to send myself Super Chat money. Absolutely crazy, man. Absolutely ridiculous. People in the community are absolutely losing their fucking mind. Yeah. David Thiering. David Thiering in the chat. Yeah. There are people who claim that I'm faking giving myself $100 Super Chats. I'll even post it right now. I'll go find it for you. I'll post a tweet right in the fucking thing. You guys don't believe me. I tweeted about it today. It actually pissed me the fuck off. It really did. Yeah, this guy right here. Let's get this. Get this link here. I'll post it right in the chat so you guys can see. There you go. I'll even pin it at the top. There you go. Do what you want with that. NXT. Start off, Chicago, Illinois, Rosemont, Allstate Arena. Shawn Michaels is out. He starts dancing out to Sexy Boy. Got a big pop. He slapped his hands on his way to the ring. He's just singing along and getting the crowd to sing along with his theme music. He kind of soaked it in for a little bit. HBK says we couldn't have a new show on a new network in a new city without new titles. He introduced belts that were brand new to the NXT brand, a new men's World Heavyweight Championship and a new women's World Heavyweight Championship. The men's has all black and silver, no rainbow. Get it out. Black strap, and the women's is the same as the men's, but with a white strap. He asked Chicago, are you ready? And there was a huge pop because Triple H came walking into the ring from behind Shawn Michaels and uttered, "Are you ready?" So that was pretty cool. I actually laughed because there was a nice little genuine moment where it looked like Shawn Michaels didn't realize that Triple H was going to be out there. So I actually laughed at that moment. So we got both of them, and they give way to Giulia. She's out there, and she makes her entrance, and she's got a great entrance. Love Giulia. The ambiance and the presentation of Giulia is fucking great. She comes out. Roxanne comes out. We get the introductions. They make it into a big deal, and the match is underway. So, coming on in, a lot of people were, Giulia's definitely going to win. Giulia is going to win the Women's Championship. It was actually on TNT a couple of weeks ago where Jason and I discussed this, and we both came to the conclusion that a lot of people are really writing Roxanne Perez off. And we stated on Tuesday Night Titans a couple of weeks ago, don't be surprised if Roxanne Perez retains the Women's Championship and Giulia loses her first WWE match. Now, I'm sure you will get the people that claim Giulia is buried and, you know, she's already being mismanaged and mishandled in WWE. Obviously, they protected her with the finish tonight, which obviously, if you guys watched, you saw Cora Jade make her return from a knee injury tonight, and she was the one who helped Roxanne Perez. Former friends and then enemies, and now friends once again. So they exchanged near falls early on here. They wrestled to a stalemate, and then they go nose to nose, and they get in each other's face, and we go to a very quick commercial break. It's like WWE's thing. We go and start the match, and within 90 seconds, we go to a commercial break. We get back from the break. Things are getting a little bit more heated. Crowd is starting to come alive. We got a series of headbutts by Giulia. Crowd starts chanting NXT, NXT, because Roxanne sails through the ropes for a crazy suicide dive on the outside, and she takes out Giulia. Giulia answers back in the ring for a Northern Lights suplex and a bridge, and then we start to see some chain wrestling, and both counter their way out of submissions with Roxanne landing a crossface. So she got the crossface, and they keep trading back and forth. Perez gets up. She goes for Pop Rocks, which is her code red. Giulia rolls to the outside to avoid a pin. So Giulia, she was nailed with Pop Rocks, and at this point, I'm looking at Giulia, and she's slowly rolling to the outside, and it's almost as if, now correct me if I'm wrong, someone might have seen something different than what I saw. It almost looked like Roxanne Perez was aiding Giulia and shoving her out of the ring onto the bottom rope because it almost looked like she didn't know what she had to do. Again, I might have seen something different than what you guys were watching, but that's what it looked like to me. So Perez, with Roxanne now on one side and Giulia on the other. After Pop Rocks, Giulia rolled out of the ring. Roxanne goes and gets the Women's World Championship, which is on a podium, on a pillow, on the outside by the commentary booth, like WWE's been presenting their championships. They have these new podiums, which the championships rest on during the championship matches. She goes and grabs the title, and she kisses it. Now, she holds the title, and the referee sees her bring the title into the ring, and the referee puts a stop to it, and now she's got the referee distracted. All while this is going on, we get a hooded figure running down the aisle, and this woman, this unknown woman at the time, attacking Giulia in the aisleway, delivers a DDT on the outside. Planted Giulia headfirst on the concrete. So this person rolled Giulia back into the ring. Perez does another Pop Rocks. Perez covers Giulia for the 1, 2, 3. At the end of the match, the attacker reveals herself to be Cora Jade to a very lukewarm reaction. I don't think anybody knew who she was. If you did, congratulations. You're an old school NXT 2.0 junkie. Cora Jade is back. Cora Jade is someone that WWE had a lot of hope for in the women's division, and then an injury. I don't know if it was an MCL or an ACL. I think it was an ACL. Took her out for 9 months. Someone asked Roxanne Perez during the build-up to tonight's show where Cora Jade is and how Cora Jade is coming along. And I think she said it was at least 1 month away from Cora Jade getting back to action. So clearly we saw her back tonight. She delivered a DDT. Looks like she's ready to go. Looks like she's cleared to go. And it looks like we're going to be getting another decent piece added back to the women's division. Now, the thing is, they were partners. They were tag team champions, I believe, in NXT. And all of a sudden, when they split, it was going to be Roxy and Cora Jade battling it out. They were going to be this version's Sasha and Charlotte. That was the vibe. Or Sasha and Bayley. Whatever the case may be. Cora Jade got hurt. And then all of a sudden, with Cora Jade going down with injury, Roxanne Perez needed something new to do. So she basically took whatever gimmick Cora Jade had, made it into her own, and ran with it. I didn't think it was going to be good enough to get Roxy where she needed to be. She was great in the ring and always going to continue to get better in the ring. But I didn't think she was going to play the bad girl the way Cora Jade played it. Cora Jade is just a natural at that. But Roxy, she took the gimmick, she took the attitude, and she's done a great job with it. And I really don't want to see her ever go back to the goody two-shoes, you know, let's give everybody a hug, smiling all over the place, Roxanne Perez. Now, we're done with that shit. So now we got Cora Jade back, who is, quote-unquote, character-wise, a bitch. And Roxanne Perez also playing a bitch. And now we got both of them having a common enemy, which she said tonight is probably going to bring us back together, or more than likely bring us back together. I did not. Yes, I know. It's laughable to even mention Sasha and Bayley. I said the same thing with these people. How many people, this is why I mentioned it. A lot of people were like, oh yeah, Cora Jade is the next Sasha Banks. No, she's not. No, she's not. Stop. Stop putting labels on people, bro. Really. Roxanne Perez has a very good chance of being much better than Bayley. Really. I'll give her that. But Cora Jade being better than Sasha Banks? No, thank you. No, I don't even engage with those people. That's just a ridiculous discussion. The match was not a banger. Was it fine for what it was on TV with commercial breaks? Sure. But you might have saw a banger. Your idea of a banger is different than my idea of a banger. You thought they cooked. I thought that they walked into the kitchen and didn't do a fucking thing to come up with anything appetizing. Honestly. It just existed. It was just there. Hopefully, it's much better in the second match. But it looked like there was communication issues between Guilia and Roxanne Perez. Guilia obviously, very obviously, is struggling already on the major stage with the way WWE handles things. I don't know if they stifled her moveset. I don't know what it is. It's probably a mixture of all these things. She's going to learn how WWE operates. But by throwing her out there immediately after one match with Chelsea Green and then a major pay-per-view-like build and hype for their Women's World Championship against Roxanne Perez on the debut of CW, I can't sit here and tell you anything but underwhelming. Hopefully they correct what they had tonight for the second match, wherever that takes place, whether it's Halloween Havoc or at the pay-per-view, whatever pay-per-view it is. Hopefully the second match is better. Maybe Guilia will have to now go through Cora Jade. Maybe. Let's start getting Guilia with some wins. Let's start getting Guilia in the ring working with several different talents so that she picks up the pace and knows what she has to do a lot quicker than throwing her into the fire, expecting her to be what she was in Japan, in the WWE. It doesn't work out that way. She was great there. That doesn't mean she's going to be great here. Not to say that all people end up the same way that Giulia was tonight. Some people get it, some people don't. Some people grasp it quicker than others. But tonight was not a good night. Tonight was not a good night. We saw the arrival of CM Punk into the building. Trick Williams is shown entering the building. Then we get Nathan Frazier and Axiom. Another two on this brand that I absolutely love. Fraxium is fucking great. They may be the best tag team in all of WWE right now. Axiom and Nathan Frazier were playing WWE 2K25. Is it 24 or 25? 25? 2K24. They haven't released 25 yet. They were playing as themselves. Which, by the way, I think today you could actually get WWE 2K24 for free if you are subscribed to PlayStation Plus. Good thing I didn't buy it, not for $60 or $90 or whatever the fucking price was. You could get it for free now. There you go. They were playing as themselves. They bickered while playing, and Frazier lost focus, and they lost the NXT Tag Team Championships in the game to Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Frazier said he saw Axiom's point about them losing focus, and they played another game. Nathan Frazier asked for a rematch so that they can get back on track against A-Town Down Under. Axiom tried to tell Nathan Frazier that he's got to keep his temper in check. Okay. I'm wondering, does Axiom play video games at home on his couch in the mask at all times? Saw the video package recapping the history between Wes Lee and Zachary Wentz ahead of their street fight. Live in the arena, Wes Lee makes his entrance. And we're getting ready for this street fight against Zachary Wentz. He's pushing a shopping cart full of weapons. And this was one of the matches I was looking forward to most on tonight's show between these two guys. I think both of these guys, like I mentioned in the cold open of this podcast tonight, I think both of these guys are fucking fantastic at what they do. Rascals are great. MSK was great. Wes Lee's great on his own. These guys are just great performers, man. So if you guys don't know, I took some notes here. Wes Lee and Zachary Wentz were once allies and tag team partners in NXT. They performed under the team name of MSK. Nash Carter was Zachary Wentz's name in NXT. So they were NXT Tag Team Champions. And then on the September 10th episode of NXT, Wes Lee made a challenge to Zachary Wentz to a street fight for the debut on CW. So apparently, this challenge came after an incident where Wes Lee claimed responsibility for Trey Miguel, who is Zachary Wentz's tag team partner in the Rascals, being unable to compete, and it affected their scheduled tag team title match at the time. So, storyline, it's more about, him looking for the emotional baggage from their fallout. He wants to move on from that. Who was the real backbone of MSK? Betrayal. Wes Lee feels like Zachary Wentz betrayed him by leaving. So they made all of his absence and all of his firing into a story because Zachary Wentz left Wes Lee alone, and then he kind of sat with that for a while, and then seeing them again on television, all in the ring together, all those emotions kind of came back together, and then Wes Lee had a breakdown and felt like his friends betrayed him. So that's where we are today. So this match, at this point in the show, was easily the best thing about this debut episode of NXT. Great street fight. He wanted to take one match from this show and say, hey, JD, this felt like a takeover. This show did not feel like a takeover. But if you take this match and put it on an NXT takeover back in the day, it would have fit like a glove. This was great stuff. So we go to a commercial break right away. Again, another minute into the match, we go right to a commercial break. They're brawling at ringside. Weapons came into the match pretty quickly. Zachary Wentz smashed Wes Lee into the ring steps with a shopping cart. Chairs, kendo sticks, a piece of plywood was shattered everywhere. This is right before the commercial break. There are no split-screen commercial breaks like we saw in NXT on USA. So we're not getting split screens here. It's basically two commercial, and then you got to wait, and then we come back. So hopefully they do a better job of filling us in about what happened during the commercial break that we didn't see. So we come back from break. Zachary Wentz is on the top rope, and Wes Lee is on the opposite side of the ring with a trash can in his face, and Zachary Wentz went coast to coast with a Van Terminator. Smashes the trash can right on Wes Lee's face. A little bit later, Wes Lee takes a face-first bump onto a chair, which looked fucking nasty. The chair was lodged into the corner on the rope. It was like on the bottom rope, laying slanted on the rope and into the ring. Wes Lee got slammed on this thing, man. It made a wicked sound, and I know that shit sucked, man. The way that it was positioned, that shit looked like it sucked. So Wentz hits Lee with repeated shots from a kendo stick. Trash can over the head of Wes Lee. Zachary Wentz starts smacking the trash can and Wes Lee with the kendo stick. Wentz then delivers a senton bomb on Lee while he's laid out in the trash can. This got really, really, really violent. Brutal. It got worse for Wentz when he goes up top for a springboard. Wes Lee shoves him off the top rope. So he's on the top rope. Just picture Ricochet doing some death-defying dive. He springboards off the top rope, and Wes Lee shoves Zachary Wentz off the top rope into the aisleway. He was supposed to land through a table that was set up. He overshot the table, landed shoulder first onto the edge of the table, and then hit splat on the concrete. He was supposed to go through the table. He overshot the table. He made it 1,000 times worse for him by overshooting the table. Hopefully he's all right. That looked like it fucking sucked big time. So we got more brutality here. Lee wraps a chain around his hand, and Lee pummels Wentz with the chain. Wentz is seated in a chair as Lee gets on the middle rope. Wes Lee wraps the chain around his knees. He jumps off the top rope with a seated Meteora. He delivers basically a Meteora with the chain wrapped around his knees. The chair beneath him craters off the Meteora, and Lee wins and pins Zachary Wentz. 1, 2, 3. Great street fight. I don't know if it's over yet, but Wes Lee and Zachary Wentz tonight on the debut had a banger. My guy, David Thiering, with a $100 super chat. Can't wait to see all the social media degenerates claim that I gave myself this $100 super chat. David Thiering is a real beast. He's a real VIP, and he supports what me and Salamonster do every single week. David Thiering with a $100 bomb. Just looked at your pink comment, JD, and I am laughing my ass off. Newsflash, geeks of the IWC, we are not bots in this chat. We are living people who support JD for our own individual reasons. Deal with it or fuck off. Hashtag OTS for life. You should take a screenshot of it, David, and just plaster it all over that fucking degenerate's social media account. Thank you, brother. Always, always, always love having David Thiering in the OTS venue. Thank you, brother. This was great. Wes Lee and Zachary Wentz killed it. And this was by far the best thing on the entire show. Miz TV. He had two guests with him. NXT North American Champion Oba Femi. And my guy, Tony D'Angelo over here. Miz is booed. Miz got booed in Chicago because of what he did on Monday Night Raw last night. He turned on R-Truth when they wrestled AOP. Who? Oh, AOP. AOP. Authors of Pain. So Miz got booed. Femi enters. He got a big entrance. So did Tony D'Angelo. He's out there with the D'Angelo family, but they don't come to the ring. They lead him to the stage, and then they go back to the backstage area. So we got Tony D sitting on Miz's right side and Oba Femi sitting on Miz's left side. So Tony D'Angelo is first to answer a question, and he gets the what treatment from Chicago. Now, I don't know why they were giving him the what treatment. Maybe they don't really care about The Miz at all, or didn't want to see Miz TV on an NXT show, but he got the what treatment. So Tony D put over how monstrous Oba Femi is. He said next week he would overcome all of it and become the new NXT North American champion. So this is what confused me. They gave him the what treatment, and then they cheered him when he said he would become the NXT North American champion. So why did they give him the what treatment in the first place? Maybe Chicago was getting a little drunk at this time. It was around 9 o'clock. Oba Femi said that Tony didn't believe a single word he was saying. Femi said Tony D had a very successful run in NXT, but he could never be North American champion because this is my title, says Oba Femi. Tony D started to rebut and immediately was greeted with more what chants. And then he mentioned he grew up in the streets of Chicago, and then they cheered again. He said he had family all over the city. Oba Femi said none of them could fight for him. He said none of them can fight for him, and they both remember what happened last time they did fight. Femi said they both know the answer to the question. Tony can't beat him. Tony D got in Oba's face and said, Oba is just a man. Oba Femi then said, I am inevitable. He then snapped his fingers, and the segment was over. Miz ended the segment by promoting the match and said, by the looks of it, it would be awesome for the NXT North American Championship next week in St. Louis. It will be Tony D'Angelo, in my honest opinion, taking the title from Oba Femi next week in St. Louis on NXT on the CW. I didn't really care about this segment. Did we need The Miz for this segment? Did we? I don't think we needed Miz TV for this at all. But I know you guys are big on Oba. Listen, Oba Femi is impressive. To me, Oba Femi is still green as fucking grass. But if I'm booking this show, I'm booking Tony D'Angelo to take the North American title. I think that title belongs on Tony D. Jada Parker and Lola Vice, they went and teamed up together against Fatal Influence. This was Fallon Henley and JC Jane. So basically, Fatal Influence is just a recreation of Toxic Attraction. It's basically all it is. You can see the common theme that JC Jane is playing on NXT TV. She was so fucking lost, and so was Gigi Dolan when Toxic Attraction split and they fired Mandy Rose. They went nowhere. So now they put JC Jane in Fatal Influence, and basically it's just a recreation of Toxic Attraction. That's all it is. Now, I didn't really care for this coming in. I really didn't. If you cared about this coming in, God bless you. I didn't really care. So Lola Vice is obviously on the up in NXT. They are very high on Lola Vice. And Jada Parker, obviously, they're very high on her as well. She's taken to this very well. She wrestles a very intense style, there's Jada Parker. Still green, but she's not afraid to get in there and get dirty, which I always appreciate. So both Lola Vice and Jada Parker, they did not want to team up together at all because they just don't like each other. And obviously the competition in the NXT women's division is very competitive. So they had various interactions on NXT TV with Fatal Influence. And then Ava made the decision to team them up. If you guys have a problem with Fatal Influence, the best thing for me to do is pair you guys together and you can take them out if you want to together. So this decision was influenced also by Kalani Jordan, who is the NXT Women's North American Champion, suggesting that they might work well together against the common enemy in Fatal Influence. So that's where we are with this. And again, I didn't really care about this coming into it, but when we got through this tag team match, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. I just don't have any emotional investment in any of these women at all. I didn't have any emotional investment in anybody but Mandy Rose and Toxic Attraction. I didn't really care about Gigi. I didn't care about JC. I thought they were both the weakest parts of Toxic Attraction. I don't find anything redeeming about JC Jane. I don't. Fallon Henley, she's probably the one that I like the most out of all of these women, as far as an in-ring aspect. But Jada is still new. She's still relatively fresh. Lola is still coming along. She's not really there yet. All these women are far from where they need to be. But I thought this was an okay match for what it was. So Parker and Jane started the match. Parker dominated early. Vice tagged herself in. And there was really no dynamic between Jada Parker and Lola Vice. They don't like each other, but they have a common enemy. Jane yanked the hair and slammed Lola and then tagged Fallon into the match. So Vice got some midsection shots in. Parker tagged herself in as she whipped Henley into the corner. She also chopped JC Jane and draped Fallon. Hit a hip attack into the pile. Lola Vice did her own hip attack. And the baby faces here in Jada and Lola are in control. All is good for now. So they made quick tags. They got a series of shots in on Fallon Henley. Henley fought out. Palm strikes. Jada cut off the tag as Henley was basically trying to get to her corner to tag in JC. Vice came in, super kicked a charging JC Jane, which this is something I didn't really understand. JC Jane is in the ring trying to attack Jada Parker from behind. So Lola Vice comes on in and super kicks JC Jane before she even lays a hand on Jada, who doesn't even know JC is behind her. So Lola lays JC out with a super kick, and Jada Parker is yelling at Lola Vice, "What are you doing? Did you try to super kick me? You were trying to super kick me." "No, I wasn't, bitch. This one was coming behind you, and I was actually saving you." They made Jada Parker look like a complete blithering idiot here. Nowhere did Lola Vice even come close to super kicking Jada Parker. But they had Jada Parker sell that Lola was trying to kick her. If Lola wanted to kick Jada, then Lola would have kicked Jada. So fucking stupid, man. So fucking stupid. David Thiering says, "Ha ha ha. Apparently someone posted up this super chat for me since I don't have Twitter. I'm going to love the reaction out of this. Thank God I'm not on Twitter. People would hate me." Good. Fuck that guy. There's no fake super chats here, bro. None. My hand is here. My iPad is here. And that's what I'm doing. for me to juggle multiple accounts to give myself super chat money during my live streams. People are absolutely brain dead fucking stupid, man. So, Jada Parker looked like a fucking dummy here. Nowhere did Lola try to kick her. So, the heels now are in control. We go to another commercial break. Jacy Jane had Lola in a body scissor. And Jasmine Nix, who is the other member of Fatal Influence, got involved. And that let the heels take control. So, we have Fallon Henley continuing her offense on Lola. And Lola starts firing back with some strikes. And they take each other out with double clotheslines. So they go for tags. Nix was distracting Jada Parker, and Henley charged Vice into Parker, knocking her down. So that's twice, Jada said. So Jada thought that the super kick was meant for her. It wasn't. And then the heels bum rush Lola and bounce Lola into Jada, thinking that it was Lola who bounced into Jada. Jada thinks it was Lola who pushed her off the apron. That's twice, she says. And then she leaves the match. She said, fuck this shit. Got up, left the match. Absolute fucking stupidity. So, Fatal Influence hits stereo knees on Vice to finish her off, and that was it. Match went 10 minutes, and Fatal Influence wins in this tag team match. It does not make any sense at all for Jada Parker to believe that Lola did these things to her. Stupid. They want me to believe that Lola, they want me to believe Jada believes Lola did these things. But it came off in such the most silliest way. Like a blind man could see that none of this was Lola's fault. Fatal Influence started talking trash to Kalani Jordan, who said she didn't exactly come to Chicago alone. She said before this match that she had a plan B just in case these two imploded as tag team partners. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill come out to Belair's theme, Big Pop. They immediately put down Fatal Influence and posed in the ring to cheers from the Chicago crowd. Well, man, you got your new lady stable over in a win, and then you just bury them because you needed to find a spot for Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair on this show that did not call for their appearance. So WWE gave Fatal Influence a win tonight and then basically erased it by them being buried by Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. For what reason? For what reason? What does this appearance by the tag team champions do to Fatal Influence? Is someone in Fatal Influence, Fallon Henley, I would hope, go after the NXT North American Championship? Is that where we're going? Is that where we're going with that? Or are we leading to Kalani Jordan teaming with Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair against Fatal Influence only for the babyfaces to absolutely demolish the heel faction? At that point, I would have to say, what good does that do Fatal Attraction or Fatal Influence? I keep calling them Fatal Attraction because I got Toxic Attraction on the mind, and they're nothing more than a fucking cosplay Toxic Attraction. Ridiculous. Moving on. There was a promo segment, vignette, with Javon Evans. Obviously, he next week will be wrestling Randy Orton on the St. Louis NXT CW show. I don't know what it is with NXT. I don't. Why is the acting and the promos on NXT so overly scripted and recited? Does anybody have this same feeling? I just feel like Javon Evans came off like he was reading off a fucking cue card. Like he doesn't even sound human. There's no natural charisma. Everybody's so scripted. Like, I get the kid's 20 years old, but let him go out there and sound like himself. This is not a him problem either. It's all over the fucking show. It's one of the things I hate most about this show. It's overly scripted, man. Listen, I watch the show weekly. I know how they sound. We got a vignette here with a new NXT Women's Superstar coming. They teased a new arrival in a segment where she walked down a highway to a junction that led to NXT. It looked like an apocalyptic scene, and she was walking down the highway where nobody was to be found, and she was wearing all red. She had a red glove on, and we did not see her front side. We did not see her face. We only saw her from the back. I'm assuming this is going to be the one they call Delta, is what I'm assuming. So we'll see who that ends up being. Because they already got Guilia on tonight's show. We already got Stephanie Vaquer. She was on last week's show, showing up in a backstage segment on the big screen, saying that whoever wins this match tonight, she's got next. Sure thing. And then Delta. I'm assuming that's who that was for. Main event. Trick Williams, Ethan Page, NXT World Championship match with CM Punk as the special guest referee. Oh, but JD, this felt like a takeover. Again, I ask, to who? Ethan Page is your world champion. Ethan Page may go down as the worst, one of the worst world champions in NXT history. More on that in a bit. Mike Rome handled the introductions. Mike Rome is a great ring announcer. Page got in Punk's face early about slow counts. I didn't really see any slow counts from CM Punk, but he wanted to pretend like CM Punk was counting slow. Just to remind us where Punk was going as far as his refereeing ability. By the way, they had a backstage segment tonight, which I completely glossed over. Lexis King, who you guys may not be aware of, is Brian Pillman Jr. He showed up in a backstage segment after CM Punk was talking to Ava, the GM of NXT. She goes on her own way, and CM Punk is left there because Lexis King wants some advice about how he needs to handle his next feud. Oro Mensa, I believe he's feuding with. So CM Punk gives him advice and told him that he's got a lot of respect for his dad and that Lexis King is looking to be a better man and kind of not live in the shadow of his father. And CM Punk gave him some tips on how to handle Oro Mensa. So I found this to be fucking hilarious because here we have an ex-AEW guy in Lexis King, Brian Pillman Jr., going up to CM Punk in a backstage environment asking for advice. When the one story, all we heard with CM Punk coming out of AEW was that he was such a cancer to the locker room. And all the young kids who wanted some advice from CM Punk and wanted to learn from CM Punk, he didn't want to teach, and he didn't have any respect for the young kids and didn't have any respect for the backstage environment. I found it funny how WWE just threw an ex-AEW guy on TV and had him go up to CM Punk and ask for advice, and then CM Punk gives sound advice like a professional to Lexis King. Can't wait for the AEW tribalists to be bothered by that one backstage altercation. Moving on with the Trick Williams and Ethan Page match. He was complaining about Punk's slow counts. Page tried to cover Williams with his feet on the ropes. Punk, obviously doing what a normal referee would do, didn't count because he saw what Ethan Page was trying to do. Williams got some quick shots, big crossbody, went for a cover, he got a 2 count. So I'm looking at the clock. It's about 9:50 at this time, and I know there's no overrun like it would be on the USA Network. Normally, we'd get like a 10:05, maybe a 10:07 overrun they were afforded. There's no overruns on CW. As soon as that show hits 10 o'clock, it is over. Over. Just like when WWE had SmackDown on Fox. 9:57, over. So I knew that this was not going to be the big celebration that we all expected for Trick Williams here. So Paige got dumped, and Williams went to the outside to follow and attacked him, but Paige smashed him, tackled him through the timekeeper's barricade. So we go to a commercial break. Paige had Williams dominated. He was in control. Williams got a kick in, but Paige hit him with a knee right to the midsection. Paige missed in the corner, and Williams hit a big leaping neck breaker. The two then exchanged rights in the middle of the ring, and Williams got the better of it, then hit a couple of axe kicks and a big flapjack. Williams pulled out his hair tie and then went at Paige on the outside. Paige threw Williams into the steel steps and then power bombed him through the announce table. So on the CW, I heard that there were rumors that CW was going to give NXT a TV 14 rating. Now, I don't know how true that is. I don't think that they would do any partial nudity or any foul language of sorts. I felt like it was probably done to maybe offset the crowd reactions when they chant, holy shit, holy shit. We don't have to have the telecast completely muted, which is exactly what happened on more than one occasion on this show. Hopefully that is fixed with a TV 14 rating, if that is to be believed. But after this table spot and Ethan Page powerbombed Trick Williams through the table, we got chants of holy shit, and then we just got the whole fucking broadcast muted with no sound whatsoever. We didn't hear Vic Joseph. They didn't fucking bleep it and then come back to live, bleep it, and then come back. They just bleeped out the whole fucking program. We live in this pussified PC environment, man. There is nothing remotely offensive about a holy shit chant. Can we let the pro wrestling crowds be pro wrestling crowds? Page re-entered the ring. Williams slowly got his way back up. Punk, he stopped his count. He was not being a fair referee at this point. He stopped his count. He went out there to go check on Trick Williams. Could have counted 10. Ethan Page could have retained the title via countout. Punk stopped to go check on Trick. Back inside, Trick Williams hits Trick shot and then crumbled. Page fell onto him to tease the same ending as their last meeting. Both guys sold. Punk pulled them to their feet. The two exchanged shots and missed some big ones. Trick hit a big running neck breaker. Trick hit a Uranage and covered for 2. Page hit a big move for 2 and got flustered. He went for Ego's Edge, and Trick used Punk's body to pull himself to safety. Trick hit the Trick shot to win the 1, 2, 3 and the NXT World Heavyweight Championship. What was the story coming into this match? Trick Williams said on Insight with Chris Van Vliet that he accused Ethan Page of being dishonest in his WWE career. Trick Williams claimed that Ethan Page unfairly acquired the NXT Championship and used manipulative tactics to gain prominence within the company. That's exactly what he said with Chris Van Vliet. Then he wrestled Joe Hendry, that Ethan Page, at No Mercy in 2024. Ethan Page defended the title against Joe Hendry. Trick Williams served as the special guest referee for that match. And that match concluded with Ethan Page retaining his title because during the match, Ethan Page managed to push Joe Hendry into Trick Williams, which led to Williams being temporarily incapacitated outside the ring. Page then executed a DDT onto Hendry onto the world title, but Williams intervened to stop the count. And then after some back and forth between the two, Page hit Hendry with a low blow. Williams didn't see it and followed up with his Ego's Edge and retained the title. So basically, the story here is Trick, he worked his ass off for the title. Ethan Page has done nothing but bullshit his way to the title. So Trick wanted to kind of rectify that and teach Ethan Page a lesson. He won the championship back. He is now a two-time NXT champion, and Ethan Page will go down as one of the worst NXT champions of all time. That is a fact. See, I'm not on here every Tuesday night to give you guys my opinion on some of these talents, and this is my opinion of Ethan Page. Ethan Page is fine for a middle-of-the-road IC title, Intercontinental title. He is that type of guy. I do not ever in 1,000 lifetimes see Ethan Page as a world champion on any brand, in any promotion, anywhere. That's just the way that I see it. From my eyes as a pro wrestling fan to what I see on television, he is not that guy. WWE, within 6 weeks of him joining WWE, coming over from AEW, gave this guy a world championship. For what reason? Did he make the show better? Did he do a better job in the demos, in the ratings than Trick Williams did? What am I missing? Why did they take the title off Trick Williams only to have Ethan Page go on a very middle-of-the-road, uneventful, unimportant run, only to then put it back on Trick Williams for a second time? What was accomplished? Did the title make Ethan Page better? Did Ethan Page make the title better? No, it's always the man makes the title, not the other way around. Ethan Page did not do anything to enhance that NXT title. And if you think he did, you are one of these people who are blinded by NXT, and it's not 2.0 anymore. WWE only put the title on Ethan Page because it was their way of saying, Tony fucked this guy over. It was well documented that he never got a fair shake in AEW. We'll show Tony Khan that we can make stars and book his stars better than Tony Khan can. Ha ha! Meanwhile, Ethan Page is not the guy that you experiment with some pettiness like that. Sorry, guys, he's mid. He's mid. He's not a world champion. This is not a main event. Ethan Page is not a main event guy. This is not the guy that should be holding the NXT championship in the main event of the... He doesn't have any fucking aura. He's got nothing. What is he? He's just another guy. Is he a great promo? Sure. But are we putting the world championship on him because he's a great promo? Or is he someone over from AEW that WWE wanted to use as some little fucking pet project, some experiment to show Tony Khan, we can book your guys better than you can? Ethan Page has not had any relevancy whatsoever since his days as a tag team with Josh Alexander as the North in TNA. I will always look at Ethan Page as a tag team guy. Sorry, not sorry. This show was incredibly underwhelming. Incredibly underwhelming. Every week I hear, JD, you got to watch NXT. JD, you got to watch NXT. It's a great show. It's not like it used to be 2 years ago. I don't know what you guys are watching. Real talk, there was a thought in my head. Maybe I should move Tuesday Night Titans to Thursday so we have the night free. I'm not moving Tuesday Night Titans off of Tuesday. If this is the NXT show that we're going to get on a weekly basis, because after Chicago, after St. Louis, they'll be right back in the Performance Center. They'll make some aesthetic changes to the Performance Center, and it will be right back to being the same show that it was on the USA Network with shitty fucking theme music, new titles, a new logo, a new color scheme, and everything else about the fucking show that you saw last week and the week before that and the week before that is going to remain the same. Guilia, Stephanie Vacker, Delta, the Motor City Machine Guns. All these talent you think is going to enhance the show to be better than it was? If the writing is the same and the production of the show is the same and the vibe of the show is the same, doesn't matter who they have on the show, it's going to remain the same. NXT does not emit that special feeling anymore. NXT doesn't give off the vibe of, hey man, they're changing it to be better than it used to be. We're going back to what made it successful in the first place, mixed with the talent that's in that performance center, training every single week, hoping to get on TV. What makes the show stand out? What do they do better than Raw or SmackDown, or I would even say AEW? What do they do better? As far as I'm concerned, NXT is just an extension of the main roster that's called developmental. It looks the same, it sounds the same, it feels the same. It only operates outside of a performance center in front of 400 people. Yeah, you guys want me to cover this show every fucking week. For what? Major storylines don't feel major. Main events like this one don't feel like main events. How are you going to have a main event that doesn't feel like a main event? Imagine buying a ticket to NXT and your main event is Ethan fucking Page defending the NXT World Championship against Trick Williams. Gone are the days of NXT main events, man. We had it good. We ate like fucking kings 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Now all of you in this new era, this fucking Gen Z woke bullshit era, you're okay with Ethan Page as your NXT World Champion, main eventing shows on a weekly basis, main eventing PLEs. This is what you've degraded into. It's not my NXT, man. It's not my NXT. I'll sell all my stock in NXT. You want that to be your NXT, man? You can take it and fucking do what you want with it. It ain't my NXT. Thank you guys very much for all your support. If you enjoyed today's podcast, if you enjoyed today's live stream, I would really appreciate it if you hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 1,000 likes, man. We got 1,600 people in here. I'd love to see another 300 likes if we can get it. Shout out to my family on Twitch. We're live on Twitch as well. If you guys want to follow on Twitch, I would really appreciate that as well. Hit that subscribe button or subscribe to the channel on Twitch. Always appreciate you guys over there. We'll be live tomorrow with Jesse. AEW Dynamite 5-year anniversary show. We got Ricochet and Will Ospreay, Kazuchika Okada and Bryan Danielson. And Tony Khan is teasing a major announcement. Will we finally get the TV rights deal announced on Dynamite tomorrow? Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. We have eclipsed 162,000 subscribers on the channel, and we are on our way to 163,000. Thank you guys very much for all of your supports for what I do here, man. Every little bit counts. Every little bit counts. And super chats are open. Get them on in. You got people out in the community, man, fucking these no face, no life trolls thinking that I buy my own super chats. Let's show them. David Thiering, thank you, brother. Fallen Exposure with a $5 super chat. Anyone catch Vic Joseph's malfunction during the main event? They tried to play it all. I heard some static on the main event. I don't know what had happened there. I think something got lost when Trick Williams went through the announce table. Tony Brown with a $4.99. Julia makes me want to eat Japanese for dinner, JD. Julia is a very, very lovely woman, Tony. Guys, the Braves season is over. I've already come to grips or gripes with it. I've already come to closure. It's over. Good luck to the Padres. Whoever goes on to fight Philly, just beat the Phillies. I don't give a shit. Don't know how the team is even in the fucking playoffs. If this was the case, I would have rather than get eliminated yesterday. It's over. They're not winning tomorrow. It's all over. Michael Loden with 3 months. Will there be an episode of TNT this week? After the first segment, the show fell off a cliff, in my opinion. Michael, I will be live on Thursday afternoon with all your news for Off the Script. Jason and I will be back, I believe, next Wednesday for TNT. A very rare episode on Wednesday of TNT because we have AEW and NXT on Tuesday night next week, going head-to-head. Great. Luca the Vile with a $2 super chat. Missed the chance to have Drew show up and spice it up. I agree. They took the safest route possible, man. MGM Bolin with a $5 super chat. Love me some rocks, but NXT ain't it. It's cool to have in the background while listening to the dynamic duo of TNT. Oh my God, Jade and Bianca. Who the hell cares? I know. I know. Tribal Chief with a $2 super chat, just showing my support to the GOAT, OTS for life. Thank you, Tribal Chief. JC720 with a 26 months. Hey, JD, was interesting, to say the least. New merch. CM Punk, Bianca Belair, and Jade. Sigh. Enjoying a nice scotch and soda. Congrats on your Braves. Congrats to what? They lost. Their season is over. Thank you, JC. Phantom67 with a $50 super chat. Enjoying a proper 12 on ice. NXT tonight was okay for the most part. At times it was fun, but it also lost my attention at times. Cheers, JD. Phantom, thank you, brother. Always great seeing Phantom 67 in the venue. Drinking a nice scotch on ice. Jackie Boy with 2 months. 2-month VIP tonight. It is fitting. The colors are black and silver, since this new NXT will always be second place to black and gold no matter what they do. Bingo, Jackie Boy. Jay Melvin. I see you, brother. Adam Cole's black and gold aura was peak NXT. Yes, it was. Tommaso Ciampa's heel run was peak NXT. There was nothing like it anywhere in pro wrestling. TSR Sports with a $9.99. I think we have such a tie to black and gold that anything else feels less than. I don't think the show was bad at all, but the essence of NXT will never match black and gold. I think the show was fine. You're okay to think that, Sports. You're okay to think that. I just think this show is lifeless. There's no heart. There's no soul to this show. It's just WWE's third brand that they want so desperately to be a third brand, but it is so developmental that I cannot overlook all of the fucking foolish things that they do to try and pretend it's a legit third brand. I do not think Ricky Starks is coming next week. No. Now, Ricky Starks is still under contract, apparently, to AEW. Wallace, 720 with a $14.99. I watched the women's tag match for 15 minutes during my break of work, and I thought it was the best women's tag match I've seen in ages. Fuck AEW. Come at me, tribal dogs. I mean, I wouldn't say it was the best tag team match in ages. It's a little high praise, Willis. But thank you, brother, for the $15 super chat. Scripps Wrestling Federation with a $20 super chat. Hey, JD, I came in late and just read at David Thiering super chat, and I'm pissed. Hey, geeks, JD is the best and most hardworking podcaster in the world and does not need to give himself super chats. Scripps, thank you, brother. I don't know if I'm the best podcaster in the world, but I certainly am the best podcaster in the wrestling scene for sure. Oso Vaughn with a $1.99. My MF Padres San Diego rep. But yeah, good luck. Matt Eagle, $1.99. Tuesdays belong to the Titans and no one else. Absolutely, Matt Eagle. CRJ 209 with 35 months. Love the new NXT logo. Black and silver like my Raiders. Yeah, I like the color scheme, man. I love those colors. Those are my colors. But that ain't going to make the show better than it was last week. Scripps, thank you. Demeter the Karate Kid bullying, but no Mr. Miyagi with a $7.99. Demeter, hey ya, waka, ho ya, ha ya, wa ya, kawa ya. Demeter-san. Yes, Mr. JD. Hiya, waka, ho ya. The end. It's the way his super chat read. It's the way his super chat read, bro. The Nerdy Sports Guy with a new membership. Thank you, brother. Mason the Legend with a $4.99. I never watched NXT, but only watched because you did. Not impressed at all. Only things I enjoyed were the street fight and the Giulia match. Oh, my goodness. Look at this fucking guy, this degenerate being proven wrong like a fucking half-witted retard, as usual, man. Oh, my goodness. Dovey with a $100 super chat. Oh, she's getting another fucking round of applause, man. JD, I'm very insulted by that guy's comment regarding your super chats. I am real as fuck. OTS for life. Dovey, I love you. Thank you so very much. That is what I call fucking awesome. I think I owe Dovey a cold beverage. Whatever she wants. Joker's Voice with a $5 super chat. Hell, JD here on Booker T on commentary just makes my ears bleed. An extra Jameson and ginger to ease the pain. OTS for life. Thank you, Joker's Voice. And Joker's Voice becomes a new member right here in the venue. He sits VIP. Joker's Voice, I gotta ask, what the fuck are you drinking? Kazama Fury with 26 months. CW and WWE have to iron out the kinks in the presentation. Notice that Henley and Jane has DIY's finish. Page needs to earn his way back to the North American title. Whatever. I mean, the presentation was fine. They have DIY's finish. I didn't really pay attention. I wasn't paying that close of attention, honestly, to the finish. I was so zoned out because of the stupidity from Jada Parker, thinking that Lola Vice was fucking up on purpose. Anyway. Guys, that's all we got tonight. I appreciate you very much for hanging out with me. Thank you for the super chat love as always. Love to see the energy in the venue. It's one of my favorite parts of the show. You guys give back, I give right back to you. We are on the road to Dynamite tomorrow. 5-year anniversary for AEW Dynamite. I don't know how you guys are feeling, man. I'm not feeling any excitement around tonight's show, man. I feel kind of this lackluster feel. Doesn't really feel like 5 years. I don't know. We'll see. Thank you guys very much for all your support. If you enjoyed today's live stream for NXT, whatever version this is, what is this, 3.0? NXT 3.0, 4.0? Boring .0? If you guys enjoyed today's stream, hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Go check out all the other content on the channel. There is plenty of it. Tomorrow, AEW Dynamite. Thursday, Off the Script. Friday, SmackDown. Saturday, Bad Blood. Sunday, we rest. Dovey drinks Arnold Palmer's. All right. I love being Arnold Palmer. Love one. We'll get you whatever you want. And then you can sit in the dark horse. I'm in the dark horse. I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys very much. See you guys tomorrow with Jesse right here on Off the Script for AEW Dynamite, celebrating 5 years of AEW. We'll see you guys later.
Let